Hello, this is a music arts ranking video, and I hope you don't mind me referring to my notes. You'll see me looking down a little bit. Now then, this music art ranking video has to do with The Beastmaster's Planet, a book by Andre Norton. In looking at sci-fi stroke fantasy literature, the writer Andre Norton deserves a special mention. Hailed as the Grande Dame of science fiction, she was a pioneering woman writer, hence the change of name from Alice to Andre, for the same reason as the Brontes were at first published as Currer Bell and Mary Evans became George Eliot. I have been reading Andre Norton since I was a small boy, and I now think, after my own studies of English literature, that Norton deserves more attention in academia than hitherto I have found. Norton's stories inhabit contents in between science fiction and what is more recently termed fantasy literature. Her use of the language is rich and skillful. Here is a quote from Three Against the Witch World, part of the acclaimed Witch World series, that I know of, since it was the old custom, even on Escarp, to plant such about a doorway in spring's harvest. Its white flowers in the fall, and dry them to wreath above the main entrance to any house and stable, to any home and stable, sorry. Such action brought good luck, prevented the entrance of ill fortune, and also had an older meaning, that any power of evil be banished by its scent. Plants and animals in Norton's novels are realized as having particular significance as much as the people or human characters, and there are examples of atavism expressed as fantasy stories. In Three Against the Witch World, the main characters inhabit the bodies of animals for much of the story, and in Moon of Three Rings, the main protagonist inhabits the body of a wolf-like creature in order to escape or evade his enemies and then escape in his spaceship. Now this is a review of two novels collected in this one volume, The Beastmaster's Planet. Yeah, it is. Beastmaster's Planet. It was published by, I'll tell you when I have a look inside. I think it says what it's published by. Right, the Daherty Associates. Not well known, but there it is. This is a review of the two novels collected in this one volume, Beastmaster's Planet, The Beastmaster and Lord of Thunder. First novel is The Beastmaster and the sequel is Lord of Thunder. In here is one of Norton's most interesting and endearing characters. The character is morally and ethically revealing. He is the last of the Navajo Indians, a Native American, in the distant future, on a far-off planet, Azor, where he has been employed for his unusual skills of being able to communicate through a process of empathy, or telepathy, or a combination of both, with certain animals, who were very much his only friends. These novels were written in the late 1950s and the early 1960s, when there was still controversy about Native Americans on their reservations, and without going too much into American history, there still is today. The Beastmaster stories examine allegorically racial and ethical problems discovered by Norton, who was very much an American writer, writing in America, where she was a librarian and a novelist. The cultural power of this strong and endearing Native American figure, Hostine Storm, character, is perfectly realized in the form of heroic narrative. In this quote from the Beastmaster, Storm is traveling with his companions, the animals Sora, a big cat, akin to a panther, Baku, a bird of prey, and a meerkat named Hing. They are traveling in an alien landscape. And here we have it. I'll give you the quote. To be alone was nothing new for Storm. In one way or another, he had walked a lonely road for most of his life, and sometime it was easier to live with his inner loneliness and just the team than to exist in a human anthill such as the center. But there was something in this valley that he had never met before, not on any alien, enemy-held planet, where he had learned to live in peril, where every move might betray him to an enemy and yet not to a quick, clean death. This thing clung to the mounds of rubble, to the walls of rock, and the Terran knew that he had not been greatly surprised to find only the dead waiting on the hillock. This was a place that invited death. It repelled his senses, his body. Had it not been that Sura could not yet travel far, Storm would be seeking a way out right now. His companions are not the only animals for Storm to form a bond with. In Lord of Thunder, he has a trusty horse. There are allusions to the Wild West, or to the popular, legendary Wild West, version of Wild West, with a sardonic tone, but adding to the traditional sense of adventure, which makes the novels suitable for children as well as for adults. Another interesting aspect of Storm's story is that in Lord of Thunder, there is a mystical journey within a mountain which becomes a symbol of human consciousness. Becomes a symbol of human consciousness with its sacred hidden depths. Having regained some association with other Offworlders, and a Norby inhabitant of his planet Azor named Gorgol, Storm finds a serene place of ancient technology, an installation mysteriously planted within the mountain and venerated by the Azurian natives. Its origin is a complete mystery. And now, without too many spoilers, I hope this is my short analysis of the Beastmaster's planet. If you read the two novels here, and then read the Witch World series and the Moon of Three Rings. Then read the Witch World series and the Moon of Three Rings. Thank you. This is Sherwin Green signing off.